Hello and welcome. I am William, the deity of despair, and this is my first ever reaction. Uh, so bear with me for this video and maybe a few others if you're choosing to watch someone do something for the first time. I will be reacting to Leaders of History Rap Cypher by Rustage, featuring Stupendium, Keyblade, Top Hat, Keo, and more. I'm not gonna look at the list of who else is in here because I like to be surprised, and plus it usually flashes on the screen anyway. Uh, for a little bit of context, I have been following Nerdcore for 5 years-ish, 4 or 5 years, a little after COVID had started. And, Russia is like one of the first ones I found. And slightly fell off last year, but I'm getting back onto it, and I know that this video is a month old, but I think it's still a great one to try to do my first ever reaction to. It is blind, obviously, that makes for the best reactions. Also, sometimes I'm going to be looking to the left of the video because that's where my monitor with OBS is. Alright, let's get this started. Beat by Freshy Canal. Yeah, see, it's right here. Let's see, Rustage as Julius Caesar, Little Flex as Ramses II, Mix Williams as Cyrus the Great, the Mambia's Law as Alexander the Great, Nora BT as Siege Jean-Doc, Hala CG as Wu Zetian, Top Hat Hio as Tokugawa, Connor Quest as Genghis Khan, Shawty as Alfred the Great, Dan Bull as Herald Bluetooth, Stupendium as Charlemagne, Dix as Chandragupta, Small Savage as Mansa Musa, Shao as Shaka Zulu, McGuire as Suleiman, Lex Bratcher as Catherine the Great, Keyblade as Philip II, Quito as Moctezuma II, Lubitcher as Napoleon, and Dripstick as George Washington. I know a handful of these historical figures, and there's actually a few of these artists that I haven't heard of before. Dix, Keyblade, Quito. I have not heard them ever before, so good to put me on to some new people. Also, it's good to see Small Savage again.
They see my legionnaires and my eagles better than my flyer. Go ask my captors, say a price, they're gonna tell them higher. My name in monster titles, no, I'm the man they admire. I gone forge the flames of empires, don't wanna fuck with a Caesar. Big leader, Res Republic, or a console speaker. Colosseum, cause I'm deciding fate to do it, set his face, but they get stuck in the beaches. Hit your teachers, so go learn some etiquette. They play like Shakespeare, heavy verse and rhetoric. A puppet talking till he hurt his head. Better king to a slave, but they verse and rhetoric. Never did it easy, I'll be coming in the battle like it's Venevici. Bella on the commentary, I got records written neatly. Got the money like a cross is hitting London to the masses. They can call me a dictator, cause I sinner getting needy. Even better when you see me leaving session like I see these other members of the continent again and get like maybe hitting Cleo down on each to my bell and never titty and like guys back in BC.
Alright, that was cool. I understood some of the references. There's his captures, Ask for Better Price, the Shakespeare play, obviously everything with the council. I forgot what it's called already. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good verse, very history packed, which is why I don't get everything that's in there. I'm not an expert on Caesar or really any of these figures. Just know decent information about a chunk of them. Console. I knew I was gonna go into the next verse there, so that's why I paused. Man, I just really love his voice. It is so good to hear him flow with that voice. It just sounds so great. Bar wise, I only got the basic Egyptian bars because I don't know that much about the person and their history. Gordon Ramsay is funny. That was nice. That might be my favorite mixed flow I've heard. I wouldn't say like my favorite verse. Too many verses for me to name one like that, but the way he flowed, I was really digging that. And that the version that was funny. That made me laugh. Seemed really short. I'll take this time to say, to mention the visuals. I'm going to look up who did that. Video is by Owshift, Shin, and Jar Jar Binks. Art by Third PHP. Art-wise, yeah, I'm really liking it. I'll say for the video, I don't like the fading in and outs that keeps happening throughout. It's really annoying to like my eyes for that. And like it was like once in a while we find, but like it is fairly consistent, and I don't like that aspect. Really, first of all, I love when any of the artists will rap or sing in a different language. It's just peak for me. It's just peak. I love it, and that was like a really good verse. I think it's probably my favorite verse so far. I have zero idea on who that world leader is. Absolutely none. But I got a good understanding of their story, of their history through that verse, from what I could understand. Obviously, I do only understand English and some Spanish and some Gaelic, but from what I could understand, that gave me a good grasp of their story, which I thought was good. And yeah, I love how Nora sounds on every track she's been on. A fan of that verse for sure. That's pretty nice. Hala CG always sounds good. I'm surprised there wasn't more singing, but I guess because the verses are also like so short, because there's so many, and it's already a 10-minute video, and I'm extending this video's length. But so like she probably don't want to like go all out with her singing like usual, but it was still pretty good. I still enjoyed that. Speaking of foreign and everything. my favorite energy so far on this track. That didn't understand a single word I said except that one piece. That one piece, I got that one. But that was the energy was great. I loved that. That really brought the tempo up of the track. And if it's like, I know Counter Request can bring energy as well. So like if it can go like into an upward trajectory of that energy, that'd be fire. That was good. Connor rhyme schemes are always top notch. So you know, of course, that was going to be good. Wordplay good. That's everyone's got a little bit of me in them. Was very funny, and I understood it. Don't understand a ton of the bars, but I understood that one, and it was funny. And Alfred the Great. Fuck all of an idea on who Alfred the Great is. I have never heard this name in my life.
With the grass, son of the wolf with power and grass. Show you I learned it, and merciful men make a kingdom from ashes and scour the dance. So is the fifth in line and the last one left, still poker face, and though they stack my deck. Goddamn life was a trial by death, but by God's good light, man, I passed that test. On the English monarch to have earned the grip, made the pagans vacate and learn their place. Showed a monster mercy and I turned their faith. Might have won the battle, but I burned the cakes. Met the Pope in Rome and God spoke, said my man Alfie's a top bloke. When it comes to the art of war, I'm ahead of my time like crossbows. See, I'm moving back, so damn charming, loyal man, I got those. King of the Anglo-Saxons, man of those fights where you'll never hear me lost cause.
You know, Swabberty sounds good. I didn't understand any bar in that. Like I said, know nothing. I've never heard of Alfred the Great before. I like the line, so ahead of my time like crossbows. I'm going to assume that during Alfred's time, his army was using crossbows or something, or maybe like his area, his time, invented crossbows or something. That's the best I got. The best I can come up with, knowing nothing. Fucking what? Okay. Ooh, that was the best I've heard Deadwood. I loved the energy it came with, like the almost gritty, like the like subdued anger in that verse. That was really nice. I enjoyed that. You know, good Stupendium verse. I know a tiny bit of Charlemagne, so again, I wasn't getting a good chunk of those bars, but you know, Stupendium always flows well. He always has just good rapping. He's just a good rapper, so of course it's gonna sound good, right? Now, I don't want to say something stupid. So I'm not gonna like. I don't know what language that was in, so I'm not gonna speculate because I don't want to be insensitive. I feel like though we have never heard that on a nerdcore track before. Maybe on Schwab's worldwide, not worldwide. The his two ciphers that he did that had the languages. So maybe on one of those, but I feel like just in a regular cipher or regular track, we've never heard this. That was fire. That was fire. Of course, rapping in a different language is already like pretty good way to get in my good graces. But that was really good to listen to. It's something new and unique as well. I enjoyed that. It's so good. I don't follow Saman Savage's music, and I really should because I really enjoy his entire style. And that was great. It's been years, I want to say, since Saman Savage was featured on a nerdcore track of any kind. I think the last one was probably another Rustage cipher. I'm just gonna say that because it sounds like it could be true, but I do believe it's been years. Was he on the Black Air Force Energy cipher by Dizzy? He might have been. That might have been the last time. I don't know, but it's a good introduction to him because like he is so good, and like every time he is on a track, he kills it. Love that. Love the the line about don't compare him to Musk or Bezos, especially because ERB had that Musa versus Bezos rap battle. So that was I fucking love Saman Savage. Oh, wow. I want to hear that again. I've never heard Xiaojo do that before. Ever. I want him to do that more. For sure. Alright, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. It actually wasn't super bar heavy. As far as I can tell, I actually do know somewhat fair amount of Shaka Zulu. I think I had to write. I don't know if I wrote a paper on him in high school or I just like watched a bunch of documentaries just because I felt like it or something like that. But yeah, I do know a chunk. It wasn't super bar heavy, but it did get the character in. It had some very good lines and that really great warrior inflection shout did that I definitely want to hear more incorporated. Like that was so good. McGuire always sounds amazing. His singing has, since he entered the scene, his singing has always been top notch, top three. Uh, but I do want to give a small shout out to. I feel like his rapping has improved like every year, especially if he does it in like a short form, like during a cipher. He'll have like a couple of lines that will be rapping in between like his singing, and it sounds good. And overall, that just sounds amazing. I'm a big fan of McGuire always.
Power they defeat is infants or cowards, they bow to my feet. Political power was out of my reach until this bitch shouted the pound and beneath. I'm the queen of a blessed with a charge. Had a crown as my spouse until death did us part. I expanded the west and embarked on your culture and arts. New approaches to start. New roads to be paved, new expansions to mar. New serves to be free, new plans to be sparked. Promote education and open the heart to the openly spoken church. Go for remarks, reform, education on modern advancement. Diplomacy, big territory enhancements. The legacy to be remembered for ages. Captain the great, really captain the greatest.
That was good. Lex is another one of those rappers who is amazing at wordplay. She didn't actually display as much as she's done on previous tracks, nerdcore tracks that she featured on. But you still got a good glimpse of her skill there, and you got a good glimpse of her storytelling skill there because kind of like Anora's, you got a pretty good picture of the person and like what they did during their lifetime. So I like that for sure. And again, it's nice to see Lex featured again as well, especially because she is more of a straight. I mean, she is just a straight up independent artist, but she's closer to the mainstream than like anyone else on this track is. I guess except Saman, but like Lex featured on a Tech Nine track, right? So like she's closer to the mainstream audience, which could bring more eyes onto this cipher as well, and that's always a good thing.
Could you shut up for a millisecond? It's Philip II. Let me set the record straight. King of Spain, England, Netherlands, and some other lands. I can remember that many names. I changed the game, they never forget. My reign so great, no one's ever met a single domain so lit. Cause here this I never said, okay? Siempre que me siento en mi trono me centro, por eso volví capital a Madrid. Felipe Ronit goes right in his sheet. I sang every chance that I sent to the streets. Girl, are you feeling filthy? Where's my Philippines? Si la gota me agota, I'm really ill. Bury me wearing this secret.
That was good. I was trying to place what his accent was, and I couldn't. I actually might have heard Keyblade on something else. It might have been Schraub's ciphers. I can't remember what those two ciphers are called. The language ones. I don't remember, but I'm not gonna come up with it right now. I think he might have been on one of those. Keyblade might have been on one of those. But anyway, the actual verse, it did sound good. I liked his more fun, casual energy with that. He's like more low key about things. I enjoyed that. Another verse didn't understand what was being said in that, but it sounded really good. Jesus Christ. That I really like that. With Lubitcher, he most of his tracks he does that casual rapping, maybe a little bit of vocals, and then like goes into that kind of screaming metal-esque style, I'll call it. He does that frequently, and it's always like hit or miss for me on whether I enjoyed it or not. But here, I think it was really good. I think it worked really well. Going into that screaming March, I thought was great, and then combining that with like the French in there was really good. I really enjoyed that. One of my more favorite literature verses in on these ciphers.
Founding father, lead teams work feet and I couldn't sleep. And all my tried to me so I wouldn't speak. And when I knew I true beast was some more than teeth. Okay, post war they didn't give me a place. I surveyed land and now I'm out for the map. Delegation, how I'm rocking the stage. With nasty rants like intolerable acts. Though I've been a top dog since pasta. I'm a raw while on the field here at shots fired. Delaware River the flow, you couldn't cross out. Even as a little child, I cannot lie. Christmas package for the enemy, no gift to rapping. Just leave them in the cold, give them frostbite. Cherry tree swing, hot chop ride. Before course, high speed, horsepower like a mock slide. Shots ringing if you try to bust. Got cannons punching with the damage and blow. Real precedent for all the future presidents. Knockout win, unanimous votes. Like Mel Rushmore, they froze in the face. Rolling stone, and you standing there cold. Immortalized, I am the man in the mold. Even when I die, I can't abandon my home. Yeah.
Dripstick is becoming one of my favorites in the scene. That was really good. Obviously, being American, that was the one I understood the most of. From the the Delaware River to the cherry trees and the lies and the teeth. All the historical and historical fiction stuff in there. Really good. And then Drip is just always sounds really good. Like his nonchalant cadence flow is one of my favorites. I love listening to him rap. It's so good. And that'll be the end of that cipher. I didn't break down things because I'm not the most knowledgeable historian in the world. It might shock people. Yes, this random dude doing a YouTube reaction didn't know a lot of these people, but I think as a cipher, as a music aspect of it, it was good. I did not dislike or hate any of these verses in this cipher. Not a single one. I thought they all sounded good. I thought they all did their jobs well. Like whether it was like the barring or the flowing, the vocals, it was all good. I think my favorite one, I want to say Drip, but that could just be recency bias since he was the last one on the cipher. But I think Drip's probably in top 5 there. I think otherwise my favorite is actually going to be Nora's as Queen That Person. I really loved that. Second favorite, or I'm not going to give a second favorite or anything like that. I'll say Honora was my favorite, with Drip and Small Savage being the honorable mentions. And with that, I'm going to drop a like there. With that is my first reaction ever completed. I haven't listened to anything in Nerdcore from the past month here. Basically, since this video had been dropped, I haven't heard anything because I was planning to react. I was waiting for my webcam to get in and blah 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 work blah 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 blah. So, if there's anything that you want to hear some rando like me listen to and react to, drop it in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to go through what has been released since this time frame, and react to whatever sounds most interesting to me. I think my next one's actually going to be the Aerial Ace drop that was around that time as well. And with that, will the deity react? Probably.